Hey everyone, I'm Ishan Funk. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm joined by a really awesome guest. She is a legendary voice artist, Wendee Lee. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Remember, and this is a big thing, this is always something I teach whenever I'm doing any coaching. You've got to find ways to remember your own voices because many studios are really organized and they'll play you a sample of what you've done so you can get back into voice. But for a long time, studios didn't do that. You had to remember your character and they'd be like, wow, I don't know if that sounds like
Yeah.
you. And then they'd have to dig out an episode and find your lines and all of that. So uh, what we do is kind of remember the voice placement. Like, believe it or not, if the tongue falls forward, it can have a little thicker kind of nasally sound. The tongue's pulled back, it's got kind of a richer, deeper, chesty sound. So there's a number of ways you can sort of remember the voice placement in your voice, but hearing a reference is
Helps.
ideal. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Has there been a voice that like has wrecked? You know, it's just really hard to do over like 8 hours, like day after day. Is there like how do
Oh,
you keep your voice in like good shape to do that?
right. For women, it's doing the boy voices because they're really great on the chords and just bearing down like that. Just that choked me up. So you have to pace it. You have to, what I often do, excuse me.
Yeah, hydrate. Keep
Mhm.
the vocal cords loose. Yeah.
Tea. I'm really big on tea. And there's this Nimjam Chinese goo that we get that's designed for the throat. That's
Mm.
fantastic. That if you've been screaming or you're
Oh
in the
yeah.
process of doing some heavy death scenes or fighting, you can actually take a break, drink some of that, give your voice a rest, and keep going. In
Wow.
most cases, but the thing that I like to do and that I'm very protective with my cast because I certainly know firsthand what the experience is like and how it can prevent you from working the next day if your voice is trashed. So what I like to do is go through the session of recording and get all the average dialogue done first. Save all the throaty, bigger, louder, boomy stuff for the
Yep.
end, and then figure out how much is left. We generally aim for about 25 lines an hour. It can be double if it's games because you're not
Oh
matching your
yeah.
voice to picture. So it's just audio recording that goes much faster. Um, and then I'll say, okay, so we've got like these 20 lines. Let's shoot for 10 an hour and take a nice break in between and get the last 10, something like that, where I'll break it
Mm.
up and I'll suggest that to my team if I'm the talent. I'll just say, hey, can we skip this line? And everybody write it down, write 301. We'll come back to 301. Oh no, here's another one, 327. Let's write that down too. These are the line numbers. And then you psych up for it. So there is a psychological component to delivering heavy duty, really hard voices that just kill you. You know, you just kind of like it takes a lot of breath control,
Yeah.
and the thing that I find that's super, super important is relaxing your palate when you're done. So, no! So that was big and loud. Now I'm going to throw my tongue forward, drop my jaw, and just let everything relax. That releases all this tension in the back and the neck and all the structural muscles. So you
Mm.
don't get inflammation and it doesn't constrict the cords and create nodes and problems. So just that technique I've been using the last couple, maybe 3 years. I've been literally walking my talent through it after they do something vocally harsh.
Yeah.
And everybody seems to get a benefit out of it.
Yeah.
It's a high art form, and it's, you know, depicting the human condition in a variety of ways that
Mhm.
requires your ability to stretch and pull from yourself emotionally from a very deep place, even if it's just animation or something silly. You know, your talents will be tested and you will be given opportunities to do things that you've never done before, and you have to rise to the occasion on the spot. So you really need a bag of chops to work with, you know, like real acting talent.
Yeah. Was there a role that you really wanted and that you thought you had but you didn't get? You don't have to
Oh,
talk about the exact role, but I was just
oh
saying,
yeah.
have you?
Oh, it happens to every actor. I mean, just wait till you get replaced on something. That's what's really devastating. So, and it
Uh,
almost always happens to everyone. There's just so many things that come into play. And it's often not even because of the actor. It could be
yeah.
availability. It could be, oh, we decided to make the character younger, or so I did have that happen. I had in the very first original animation project that I got a leading role in, which is really the big, cherry on top, is to
Yeah.
have original animation and to have a leading role. Well, I'm not going to say what the show was, but I was the title role character. And I had been given the voice reference from my audition for the very first session. And it sounded younger than where the director wanted me to go. And I was really uncomfortable because I knew I was cast for the audition that I delivered. And now the director's asking me to play, but I knew the character was 20 years old. So while we're going through this recording session, there were a number of very well-known Saturday morning original animation actors that were kind of way beyond my league. And I was very honored to have them in my cast, but they were sitting there cutting up and screwing around the whole time I'm trying to take direction and focus in on saving this part. And as a result of all that went down, I ended up getting replaced on that show. And that was a main original series that would have gone for at least 12, maybe 36 episodes. And when they told me I was replaced, I said, but why? They said, it's just not working out. Well, why? I said, well, the character's younger. And I said, come on. I kept wanting to play the character younger, like my sample. Look, I'll re-record the episode. I'll do it for free. I just want to show them that I can
Yeah.
play it. They're like, it's okay. It's too late. We've already brought someone else in. So it's devastating. It's so
Mhm.
hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's happened. And I found on a very big series that I was on for at least 4 years that I was actually the selected lead female on the show.
Mhm.
And the producer talked them out of it because they wanted me to direct and cover some other characters. So that was devastating to hear years
Oh,
later. And I think it
man.
slipped out. I think the producer just accidentally let it out in front of me because I just went, and his
Yeah. You're
eyes
like,
kind of changed.
you should have
Yeah.
asked me. Wow. Hmm.
So,
Interesting. So yeah.
things
So it's not,
happen.
yeah.
And
So sometimes it's a lot of external factors and things in play,
that's
not
right.
just, yeah, not just your performance.
Often you don't ever get a reason. And that's what haunts you the most. If you are just told, look, we didn't think you were strong enough for the role, like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
take the hard knock. I'll go to class. I'm going to
Like,
get
thank
better.
you. Yeah.
Right. But they
Yeah.
don't even tell you that. Usually
Mm.
there's been a change in the studio and we're so
Yeah.
sorry.
And you're like, so then how do you deal with rejection then? Like, what do you do to, especially if you don't have if they don't give you a reason, right? How do you then improve so that in the next time you're in a role that it doesn't happen? Like, how do
That's right.
you?
Okay, so take a look at any of the competition shows. America's Got Talent, American Idol, The Voice, you name any of these shows. When people are eliminated or lose, look at the people that take the hard knock and take it like a pro, and the people that fall apart. And that's usually the difference between experienced professional and amateur. So you don't know how to handle the defeat if you haven't already flexed that muscle and been warned that this is part of the actor's journey. This is part of the highs and lows of existing as an actor without going into a total spiral down depression. So it's actually something I see posted on Facebook all the freaking time because there are a ton of voice actor fans that got into this business bypassing the actor's training and journey and path. And they go to, and they're the hot new voice for a limited period of time because
Sure.
most of our anime characters are all, focused on high school. So we're always looking for young voices to carry those younger leading roles and supporting roles. So you're very hot, you're the new voice for a year. Well, studios eventually are going to say, yeah, yeah, and I do love actor A, but please don't have them audition on this show because they're in show 1, 2, and 3. So we don't want them in show 4. So suddenly the work starts to dry out and you are played out. That's the thing you don't want, is to play the same kind of character in the same capacity. So like the best friend in every show, you're going to get played out and replaced. The lead boy harem show, you're going to get replaced, So those people then fall into deep depression and they are on Facebook asking for help, for lifelines to hold on, because they don't have the psychological experience and components to,
Hmm.
and meaning how you handle with rejection.
Yeah.
90% of what an actor deals with is rejection. We're
Right.
constantly auditioning, and I audition to this day. I have an audition due right after this interview.
Oh
Um,
man.
and I am rejected more or less if I don't get the role most of the time, because there's more roles that you're going to come your way than there
Yeah.
are jobs as far as auditions. So um I take it my hard knock right on the chin and have squared shoulders and grounded feet and stand up to defeat, unlike a coward. So I don't run away and hide. Yeah, I probably will cry, and I
Sure.
might be like, "Oh, that's bugging me," and go through the different, steps of grief, and be angry, and then be sad, and then feel sorry for myself. You go through it. But more than anything, that's exactly it. You go through it. So it passes through you and you don't hold on to it, and it doesn't become a big emotional problem or a
Yeah.
freaking ulcer.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
what I normally do is take time with it and get quiet and really process and think about my part of it. So where could I have changed any of this? What could I have improved? What did I learn from this? The first thing I want to do is get something out of it. I don't want it just to be the whole thing to be a loss and a miserable memory.
Hmm.
So there's that. Then I might talk to a few people if they have any information. But every
Yeah.
time you talk to somebody about being a loser, it doesn't make you look good.
Sure. Right. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
So you want to think about who you trust and who you want to share that with. You don't
Sure.
need to share
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
with everyone.
Yeah.
I don't recommend going to Facebook and eliciting sympathy. Look, we all have sympathy for people that are experiencing closed doors in their careers, but
Hmm.
look at everything else in your life that is working, and that always lifts me back up. I get back into gratitude. Okay, that one fell and
Yeah.
that hurts like hell, but on Thursday I'm recording this game, and on Friday I'm doing that movie, and I'm blessed to be where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I'll get out into nature. I'll just go for a walk or take
Yeah.
a hike or spend time with the animals, and it puts you right back into center. You can even do what's called earthing, which is take off your damn shoes and socks and walk outside in
That's right.
nature,
Yeah. Yeah.
and get into the circadian rhythm with the planet, and let her heal you, because
Yeah.
it's to our avail. There are things all around us that are available to help, but you really have to think about your health mentally and physically and do something about it actively. It's not in the hands of everybody else. It's up to you to pull yourself out of whatever rut or downturn you may hit, and know that it's temporary. Those things
Mhm.
don't last forever.
Where can people follow your work online besides all of the shows and the video games and the anime? Where can they, is there a place online that they can follow you?
Oh, I just have Twitter, Wendee Lee VO, and Facebook is Wendee Lee artist, and it's always all E's. WENDEELEE. Thank all of you for joining us. Thank you for caring. Thank you for your support. And just know that we are all connected through this little genre of anime and games and entertainment, and that our hearts are in our performances, and that's what you connect with. And it's meaningful and it matters. And thank you for caring.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. It was an honor. And I would love to have you back on again at some point in the
Yeah,
future. So,
let's do it
yeah.
again. That was
Yeah.
so nice.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
everyone.
All right.
See you Base cow people.